Hello folks, welcome to another video here on my channel. Microsoft Flight Simulator 2020, going another airliner flying today, but we'll go with the Aerosoft CRJ700 aircraft. This is one of the first study level airliner that was available for Microsoft Flight Simulator 2020. Really detailed modeled aircraft. A smaller one, smaller than the Airbus actually, for regional flights. We are going to fly from Dresden Airport, Echo Delta Delta Charlie, to Hamburg, Echo Delta Delta Hotel. So we are already at Dresden, gate 31. Plane is powered on. Actually, I have the ground power in use, jetway connected, and just set all the weights and the fuel. Let's go for preparing this aircraft to fly to Hamburg. So first of all, we need to go to the FMZ. Oops. Okay, here's my controller to position in it. So then we just set our position airport, which is Echo Delta Delta Charlie, gate 31, and then we just copy the GPS position into position in it. Alright, and we go to the flight plan page. I prepared this flight plan in SimBrief, so we can just basically load it from the SimBrief stored flight plan, which is Echo Delta Delta Charlie, Echo Delta Delta Hotel, into the route section. Route is loaded, execute, and we already have our route in. So go to the next page and we see we already have all the milestones, and the only thing is that it does not import the airways, just gives you all the waypoints with a direct, but at the end it's basically the same. The only thing we need to set is the departure and arrival. For that we just quickly check the weather here in Dresden to see what the wind is. So we have winds from 220, 19 knots gusty. This is a very windy day today, but winds are 220. That means we will depart from the east. All right, let's just quickly set this in. So means departure and arrival. We are departing from runway 22, doing what was the, I think I already said, let's have a check on the quick check on the pilot to ATC. Yeah, the OSK 7 Whiskey departure. Okay, EOS K7 Whiskey departure. Going to execute that. And our arrival, as it is at the moment, will be probably ILS runway 15 with the RAROP 1 departure with no transition. Execute that too. Alright, so then we just quickly check the flight plan. And look for any discontinuities. But so far it looks great. Yeah, that looks fine. Okay, oh, there are some directors. Ah, there is a discontinuity. See, okay, RAROP is twice. So delete there are once and set the next one. Execute. So then it should be fine, yeah. Alright, no discontinuity anymore. All the way down to runway 15 and that's it. Oh, there's another one. We have the vectors. Probably, I don't know if we get the vectors, but first we delete it. Okay, execute. Then flight plan should be fine. Adapt the range a little bit for our departure. So then we go to the performance page. Go to performance in it and set our cruising altitude, which is, I have no idea to be honest. What is the cruising altitude from? Let's have a brief check on that. So cruising altitude will be flight level 240 and oops. I also need to set here 24. Don't need a virtual keyboard at the moment. 240. Enter that, and we are going to connect the pilot to ATC.
Dresden information Papa, 1120 Zulu, winds are 217 at 22 knots gusting to 30 knots. Visibility 6 miles.
Okay, so then we file this flight plan. And that's it for the moment. So that means flight level was 240. That one needs, forgot it needs the altitude, not at flight level, it needs the real altitude and it translated to flight level. And then we can just copy all the performance data into the FMS, which makes life easier a little bit. And we execute that and we are all set at this FMZ thing. Alright, so we can get our clearance first. Leipzig Air 492 ready to copy.
Leipzig Air 492 is cleared to Echo Delta Delta Hotel. Climb via the OSKA-7W departure, with the OSCAN transition, then as filed. Expect departure runway 22. Climb to flight level 090 via the departure. Expect higher clearances 5 minutes after departure. Squawk 5323.
Leipzig Air 492 is cleared to Echo Delta Delta Hotel. Climb via the OSKA-7W departure, with the OSCAN transition, then as filed. Climb to flight level 090 via the departure. Expect higher clearances 5 minutes after departure. Squawk 5323.
Leipzig Air 492 read back correct. QNH is 989, let us know when you are ready for pushback.
QNH is 989 Leipzig Air 492.
Alright, then I set the speeds to the simulator and the climb speed. We are going directly to 250 because I don't have, there are no restrictions here at the moment. Alright, then I think we are ready with that. So we can basically start the APU first. Start the APU, close the front door,
Captain, the cabin is secure. All passengers are aboard.
And then we
Ladies and gentlemen,
call
on
the
behalf
pushback
of
menu.
the captain and crew, welcome aboard this flight. We hope you enjoy flying with us.
And
Before
removing the
takeoff, we
jetway.
would like to encourage all passengers to watch our cabin crew display the safety features of the aircraft.
Okay, then I also need to pre-plan the pushback while the APU is starting up. So this unfortunately does not work with the VR controller, so I have to do it with the mouse instead. Okay, so we need to go in that direction. That's it. The enter key. Okay. Okay, APU is up and running, so we can remove the chocks and remove the... That's automatically removed. Okay. So. Windshield heating on, the pilot heat's on. Air conditioning, APU is running, so we can also put the packs on. The air conditioning. And the nav lights, the logo lights. Alright, so increasing the lights a little bit. So that one here. Okay, so I think we are clear for pushback. A Leipzig Air 4902 ready for pushback and engine start.
Leipzig Air 4902 pushback and engine start approved.
Pushback and engine start approved. Leipzig Air
Cockpit to
4902.
ground. This is ground. Stand by.
So, pull all the hydraulic pumps on for the engine start.
Okay, sir. The bypass pin is installed. All doors and hatches closed and all ground equipment is removed. The parking brakes are set. You may lift. Parking brake set. Lifting the aircraft. We are cleared for start and push. Okay, cleared for push start. Please release parking brake. Parking brakes are released. Commencing pushback. You can start the engines in sequence. It will start in the sequence.
Okay, then let's start the engines. Engine 2 first.
Ladies and gentlemen, please pay attention as
Right.
we display the safety
Engine
features
2 is fired
of
up.
the aircraft in
Engine
case of
1
emergency.
starts
During
now.
an emergency, please remain in your seats with your seatbelts fastened and your seats in the upright position. In case of a drop in cabin pressure, breathing masks
Beacon
will
on.
drop from the ceiling and should be placed over your head. If there is smoke in the cabin during the evacuation of the aircraft, the walkway emergency lights will display to the exits, which are located here and here. In case of an extreme emergency landing, you'll be instructed.
Okay, pushback completed. Please set your parking brake.
Placing your head between your knees with your hands over your
Parking brake set.
We would also like
Parking
to
brake set. Lowering
cell
aircraft.
phone electronic devices. We thank you for paying attention during this brief presentation.
Ground. Startup is complete. You may disconnect.
Roger. Good engine start. Cleared to disconnect. See you at the side. Have a good flight.
Alright, thank
Hold
you.
position waiting for the visual. Thank you and goodbye.
Yeah, thanks. Thanks very much for this very nice pushback. See you soon. So we can close the toolbar pushback window, and the engine number 1 is now also fired up and running. That means we can just check if there is something just not okay. The APU is going to be switched off. And we can ask for our taxi clearance. Leipzig Air 4902, ready to taxi.
Leipzig Air 4902 taxi to runway 22 via taxiways Echo. Hold short runway 22.
Taxi to runway 22 via taxiways Echo. Hold short runway 22 Leipzig Air 4902.
Okay, flight controls check. Full left, full right, full up, full down, rudder right, rudder left, rudder center. Okay, so our pitch trim for the start is going to around about 7.3. So use it to 7.3. Okay, taxi lights on. And close the APU. Okay, flaps to takeoff configuration, which is flaps 8, and we are good to go. Close the cockpit door. The stuttering here you might notice. I don't know if it's in the mirror too, but this is most likely from the recording, because I'm running usually at EDDH with my graphics settings, so to have at least some high clarity in the HMD, and as soon as I start recording in full HD it hits performance a bit. So that's why especially on the ground at payware complex airports, then the stuttering occurs. So it's the trade-off I have to actually live with.
Leipzig Air 492 contact tower on 122.902. Enjoy your afternoon.
Tower on 122.902 Leipzig Air 492.
Yeah, winds are strong today in Germany. We have a stormy day. Let's see how this affects our approach later on to Hamburg. But first of all, we'll get out of here. Leipzig Air 492, ready for departure, runway 22.
Leipzig Air 492, this is Dresden Tower on 122.902. Please repeat your request.
Leipzig Air 492, ready for departure, runway 22.
Leipzig Air 492, winds are 217 at 22 knots, cleared for takeoff, runway 22 squawk 5323. Cleared for takeoff, runway 22 squawking 5323 Leipzig Air 492.
We prepare the autopilot, the speed and navigation modes. Oh, this is really hitting performance here. Wasn't expecting that. Okay. Okay, then let's go out of here.
Leipzig Air 492, contact Berlin Center on 125.8, have a good one. Center on 125.8 Leipzig Air 492.
Spot the autopilot in.
Center Leipzig Air 492, climbing to flight level 090.
Leipzig Air 492, good afternoon. Radar contact.
Oh, the flaps. Yeah, I know. Retract the flaps. Forgot that. And this small aircraft, this CRJ, it does not has an auto throttle feature like the bigger ones, like in Airbus, for example. However, it has a mode, a climb mode, that actually keeps the selected speed and adapts the climb angle, actually. to keep that speed on a automatically selected one. The climb rate, that's the word I was looking for. Yeah, it's adapting the climb rate. Okay.
Leipzig Air 492 climb and maintain flight level 160.
Okay.
Climb and maintain flight level 160 Leipzig Air 492.
Need to put the barrel to standard. This is something you need to do with the mouse because it's a bit in VR. It's a bit tricky to reach that with the VR controller. It's nearly impossible. So. Okay, 10,000 feet. We can switch all the lights off. Increase the range of the ND here a little bit to check for our route, and we are basically fine. You might switch the engine anti-ice on because I'm not sure about these clouds and the temperatures. That
Leipzig
might
Air
be some icing.
492 climb and maintain flight level 240.
Climb and maintain flight level 240 Leipzig Air 492.
Will go. Will comply. On my way.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are now serving sandwiches.
That sounds great. I'm hungry. Please bring me one too. But I did lock the cockpit door, so I have to put it to automatic. Okay, we can increase the speed, by the way. To something on the 300 range.
Leipzig Air 492 climb and maintain flight level 240.
Yes.
Climb and maintain flight level 240 Leipzig Air 492.
On my way. Please be patient. I need to accelerate first.
Leipzig Air 492 expedite climb to flight level 240.
Yes.
Expedite climb to flight level 240 Leipzig Air 492.
So once you are on the cruising altitude, you have to manually select the throttle levers to the N1 that fits your speed. Actually, it's a little bit more work to do than maybe in the Airbus or in the Boeing 737 with the auto throttle feature, but it's always also some more work to do and a little more flying or piloting, and not just yeah, hitting knobs or buttons. So that means we have to reduce the thrust now. I know I'm already overspeeding, that's what I meant. You have to be careful. Okay, sounds good. A little more to keep the 300. Just a little more. Okay. All right. So we should have a look at the charts for Hamburg. Let's check that window here somewhere, and look for Echo Delta no, go on, Delta Hotel. Hamburg. And I expect the runway 15 approach, but let's see later on what the winds are. That means we have to go down to 3,000 feet at least at Dewood. And the decision height will be 253 barometric. Alright. Let's also have a short look on where, okay, the calculated top of descent will be just close to the air node waypoint. That's where ATC is probably giving us the descent then. Okay, so it's a little way to go. Yeah, this aircraft, you have to get used with that actually if you are used to fly the bigger ones or the fully automated Airbus ones. It's a bit different to be honest. It's even the CRJs are from the technology point of view definitely older ones. You see it also on those displays here. It's not a LCD displays. That are the old, like you know from older televisions, with a electron tube displays. So it's it all looks a little bit odd and yeah, ancient actually, but it works, and it works great, and the systems are well modeled here and very deeply and detailed, so everything works great in this aircraft, and it's nice to fly. To be honest, it's very nice to fly smaller ones. And yeah, we definitely need some more detailed study level aircraft for Microsoft Flight Simulator 2020. So the PMDG Boeing 737 is on the way, and also the Phoenix A320 is on the way. So let's hope to have those soon for increasing realism in Microsoft Flight Simulator. And yeah, until that we are staying on the beautiful fly-by-wire A32NX add-on, which is now became on also a very detailed level now, and the CRJ700 from Aerosoft for the short trips, and of course all these small general aviation planes for VFR flying, or the perfect H145 Airbus helicopter from Hyper Performance Group. So this makes Microsoft Flight Simulator at the moment a great simulator, and of course the clouds. That's, what can I say? The clouds are just lovely, and the best ones you can at the moment have here in the flight sim world. At one of my last flights with the CRJ I did, suddenly I went from Zurich to Paris, and just shortly after the start in the climb phase, suddenly just the engines, everything was just switching off. Engines spooled down. There was no power at all anymore, electrical power at the aircraft. So just without any further notice, I was a bit surprised, because I did not expect that this aircraft has a failure simulation. At least it does not have the option somewhere to switch it failures on or off. So maybe that was a bug. I'm not sure about this. So I was actually able to initialize everything back, switching on the APU again during the climb. So I just went to descent then to keep the speed, and switched on the APU again to start the engines, and the engines spool up again. So the only thing was that I had to completely renew the flight plan and the FMZ setup again. So that yeah, and that was kind of funny, or let's say unexpected, and maybe if someone of you has an idea if there is a failure simulation in the Aerosoft CRJ and how to switch it off, just let me know. And I really hope that this does not happen on our flight today. Okay, I think the headwind is increasing a bit, so need to add some more thrust, throttle, and one to keep the speed. So we just passed by Berlin, look here, Echo Delta Delta Bravo, Berlin Airport, Berlin Brandenburg, the new one. So half of the way done.
Leipzig Air 492 expect the RARU1 Delta arrival with the RARUP transition for the ILS approach to runway 15 with the DH457 transition at Hamburg. After Admiral cleared direct RARUP.
Expect the RARU1 Delta arrival with the RARUP transition for the ILS approach to runway 15 with the DH457 transition after Admiral cleared direct RARUP Leipzig Air 492.
Alright, that was our approach. So the only thing we need to update here or just align is the transition on the arrival. So ILS 15, RARUP 1 Delta and the DH547. Execute. Let's check for any discontinuity. Oops. We have it doubled now. So we need to delete that one actually. Need to delete that one. Need to delete another railroad. And we need to delete that one. And this is going to be the next. Execute. This FMS actually, this MCDU is not as intelligent as maybe the Airbus one, because if you do the same thing in the Airbus MCDU, it automatically recognizes if there are double waypoints, because you changed your approach procedures, and obviously this one does not. So you always have to double check then and manually deleting those double waypoint switches. You just need to know that, and then you can act. Alright, so now we're coming close to, yes, we are coming close to our calculated top of descent, or at least the ATZ one, close to air node. Let's meanwhile check the weather. Oh, okay, still not available here, or I missed it. Yeah, I think it's just too far. Oh, we are not close enough.
Leipzig Air 492 maintain flight level 240, descend to cross Rudder at flight level 110, then descend via the RARU1 Delta arrival with the Rudder transition to 4,000 feet. QNH is 978 at Hamburg.
Maintain flight level 240, will cross Rudder at flight level 110, then descend via the RARU1 Delta arrival with the Rudder transition to 4,000 feet. QNH is 978 Leipzig Air 492.
So let's go down to 4,000 feet.
Leipzig Air 492 contact Bremen Center on 119.82. Have a good afternoon.
Center on 119.82 Leipzig Air 492. Center Leipzig Air 492 descending to 4,000 feet.
Leipzig Air 492, good afternoon. Radar contact. QNH is 980.
QNH is 980 Leipzig Air 492.
We need to go a little bit smoother descent, because otherwise we are way too early on this low elevation, low altitude. So let's check on the constraints. So we have to be at okay, we have a speed restrictions at EDDH 417, but there is no altitude constraint or restriction actually. Yeah. So we can set the landing speeds already. I'm still not sure where the decision altitude, decision height is displayed here, or if there is any options to switch that on or off. So MFD map instrument. No.
Leipzig Air 492 contact Bremen radar approach on 119.5. Have a good one.
Approach on 119.5 Leipzig Air 492.
Okay, so we need to
Approach
increase
Leipzig Air
our descent a
492
little bit.
descending to 4,000 feet. Leipzig Air 492, good afternoon. Radar contact. Continue descent via the RARU-1 Delta arrival. For the ILS, approach to runway 15 with the DH-457 transition at Hamburg. Continue descent via the RARU-1 Delta arrival. For the ILS, approach to runway 15 with the DH-457 transition Leipzig Air 492.
So 220 knots on the next waypoint. Just reached it. Nearly reached it. Okay, Below 10,000 feet. Switch the lights back on. Can already arm the reverses also. Let's check for the weather again. Maybe now we can at least have an idea what winds we should expect in Hamburg. Here it is. So we have 50 knots to from 330. 330 which should give us it's the wrong runway. We are the okay, okay, anyway, we will have crosswind, strong crosswind landing on the 15. Would be better to land on the runway 34.
Leipzig Air 492 slow to 220 knots or less.
Yeah, you are right.
Wilco Leipzig Air 492.
You are absolutely right. Leipzig Air 492, request arrival runway 23. Leipzig Air 492, request arrival runway 23. Okay. Okay, then let's go down on the 15 with 15 knots of crosswind. Will be a funny landing. Okay, I forgot to look for the QNH.
Leipzig Air 492, you have traffic at 11 o'clock 10 miles at 4,100 feet.
It's 978. 978. Okay. Select the barrel. So we are now at 4,000 feet. Oh, next is 3,000 for the actual final approach. So we go down to 3,000 now. and go also to target speed of 180. Flaps 1. Flaps 8. We also pre-select the approach mode. So localizer is already captured. So a glide stop is coming in. It's kind of hard to see. It's the small blue dot in here. This is the glide stop indicator and the whole localizer you see in here.
Leipzig Air 4902 QNH is 977 at Hamburg, cleared for the ILS approach to runway 15 at Hamburg with the DH457 transition. QNH is 977 cleared for the ILS approach to runway 15 with the DH457 transition. Leipzig Air 4902. Leipzig Air 4902 descent via the DH457 transition to 3,000 feet. Descent to 3,000 feet via the DH457 transition. Leipzig Air 4902.
I am at 3,000 feet.
Leipzig Air 4902 QNH is 977 at Hamburg, contact tower on 121.27, have a nice day. QNH is 977 tower on 121.27 Leipzig Air 4902. Tower Leipzig Air 4902 inbound for ILS approach runway 15. Leipzig Air 4902 good afternoon. Radar contact. Continue ILS to runway 15 call when established on final. Continue ILS to runway 15 will call when established on final Leipzig Air 492.
So we are on the glide slope now.
Leipzig Air 492, you have traffic at 12 o'clock 10 miles at 1,600 feet.
That's correct.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are about to land. Please remain seated until we have stopped.
So crosswind is exactly from the right. That's why we are in that yeah, position here to land. Okay, go to flaps 20. Put the gear down. Flaps 30. Flaps full. Okay.
Leipzig Air 492, winds are 224 at 14 knots, cleared to land runway 15. Clear to land runway 15 Leipzig Air 492.
200. 100. 50, 40, 30, 20, 10.
Leipzig Air 492 exit runway when able.
Whoop. Alright, we made it down. I have to apologize about this bad landing. I'm still not the crosswind landing specialist, I must admit. Yeah, I need to practice that more, to be honest. Or actually, it's not it's a bit easier in the bigger ones because they are not so light and will be lifted away. Okay, let me get the APU back on. Meanwhile, there's the flaps in. Clear of active Leipzig Air 492. Leipzig Air 492, clear of active.
Leipzig Air 492 squawk 5323.
What? I'm already squawking. I have to switch it off, by the way. Leipzig Air 492, clear of active. Oh, okay. Pilot to ATC is never recognizing this clear to active report, so I don't know what the problem is. Anyway, I think we have a lot of parking spaces here in Hamburg. We just take one. So I need to switch the rudder off. Let's go for my favorite gate, which is the very front, which is, I think it's 8A or something. Let's check on that. The very first one in the front of the terminal. Too fast for the apron. Maximum 15 knots on the apron. 6, 7. Oh, let's we go for the 7 for the 7A. Let's go for the 7A, or do we go? Well, we go. No, let's go for the 8. The very first one here, which is the 8. Okay. That's it. Set the parking brakes. APU is running, so we can stop the engines. Switch off all the lights. Alright guys, that's it. We made it to Hamburg. And we just get the jetway to our aircraft. Oh, it's here. Don't need the charts anymore. But I need the jetway. Jetway is coming. I need to no. When it's there, I need to open the door. Put the chocks in the ground power.
And please make sure you have all your personal items and carry-on luggage.
Alright, that was our flight in the CRJ700 from Aerosoft from Dresden to Hamburg. I hope you enjoyed this very little flight, and I hope I see you here soon again. Thanks and bye bye.